Hold on.
What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Verified AMA. I'm your host, Lawton Ho, here with Verified Investing, and I go live every single day that the markets are open, and sometimes when they're not, from 12:30 and 1:15. And if you're wondering, Lawton, you sound like you're out of breath. It's because I am. I literally just ran down 4 flights of stairs, ran to my car, got something, and then ran up 4 flights of stairs in like 2 minutes. That was very fast. And I'm wearing pants. But that's not an excuse, is it? But anyways, welcome to my AMA where you ask questions and I hopefully can give you some answers. How's it going, everybody? As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, please consider liking it and subscribing to it. We really appreciate your support and all of your positive comments, guys. So, anyways, guys, what's going on? And as always, to ask your question, you can scan this QR code or visit the verifiedinvesting.com website to submit your questions. With that being said, what do you guys have for me today? A lot less questions today. So we're just checking to make sure that everything is okay. We're all good. On the back end. All right, let me share my charts and let's get into it, huh? Nathan says, good morning, Lawton. What's up, Nathan? Good morning. What do the charts have to say about Ethereum today? Is it still looking to go lower or is a bounce likely? Let's see here. Ethereum, for me, I am bearish on Ethereum. Potentially bearish. You know, we did have this potential head and shoulders pattern I did outline the other day. Let's say that's the bottom yesterday. Then you roughly had the bottom of the armpit, rather. You're looking at a measured move down, depending on where it breaks from, right? But oh my gosh, it's so annoying. Approximately down about 23%. All right, down about 23%. Additionally, you know, this could end up being bullish if you do see the submove end sideways consolidation for a long time. That's also another possibility. But for me, I see a potential head and shoulders pattern forming on Ethereum. And for me, it is bearish. Bearish rather than bullish. All right. Let's see what else you guys got for me. Jamie says, what's one of your favorite stocks that's a good price to hold till end of year, possibly into next year? Let's see. That's a great question. Do like Pfizer. It's beaten down. It's about 58% from its highs, but it's decently higher, around 23% from those Liberation Day lows, right? From those Liberation Day lows, it is perked up quite a decent amount. Let's see what else we got. I'm trying to think of what other stocks I do like. Maybe UNH. I mean, UNH is still at a good level. Target as well. I think Target's at a great level that I would be comfortable kind of holding it. It did just have earnings, right? But it fell off of earnings. So if it gets a little lower, closer to these Liberation Day lows, around $87, I'd be a happy buyer of Target. Mark says break down Apple levels. Let's take a look. AAPL. Apple did have earnings, did pay its dividend. It's falling now after initially pumping higher. For me, first level of support would be this nice pivot low. It kind of coincides with this kind of down sloping trend line that it did break out of 1, 2, and then the breakout is here. You can see that. It kind of coincides with it, kind of, right, within that range, depending on when it comes down and hits that. I also love this gap fill right here around this 213 level for a bounce potentially, particularly intraday. Let's see what else we got. Jackson says, could you look at Doge? I'd be happy to. Let's take a look at Doge. So for Doge, again, you have potential head and shoulders pattern here, right? Potential head and shoulders. You have not only you have this beautiful trend line, right? This is a nice upsloping trend line, but you also have a head and shoulders because you have like this. Even though that left shoulder is a little smaller, it's still valid. Don't worry. In which case, you'd have a trend line closer to this. So basically, a very similar trend line, and that measured move to the downside. Excuse me. Should that break, you're looking for a move down around 54%. 54% lower is that measured move. Now, is it likely to hit that 54%? I don't know about that. But could it fall half of that to around 15 cents? Yeah, definitely. I definitely could see that happening. Jackie says, could you look at Ethereum Classic? Any long opportunities amid the starting bear flag on Bitcoin? Again, if all these cryptos, if you take a look at them, they're all making this kind of head and shoulders pattern, all pretty bearish to me. So I'm not looking for a long yet. You got this. And if we take that measured move from this wonderful head and shoulders pattern, you're looking for a move down about 41%. So I might be a buyer under $16. That would be my level for Ethereum Classic. Chad says, hi, Lon. Hope all is well. I hope all is well for you as well, Chad. Another gloomy day in London. Another hot day here in Florida. In your opinion, could Lyft, YFT, be potentially be breaking out of this downsloping parallel from 12th of May? If you have the same parallel as me on my chart. If so, where would your entry take profits be? So I don't have it breaking out yet. It attempted to break out, never confirmed, right? Never confirmed, and fell back below and is trying to get above. Yes, I would say this is bullish, right? If it does break, and I'll enter in one of two places. Let me turn this into another teachable. So on these bull flags, parallel channels, you can either enter on the break or the retrace to the parallel channel break. That's what I would do. So if it can break above, confirm above, you can either go long or wait for a retrace to this downsloping trend line. As far as the target profit, I'd look for, Lyft is still so beaten down, guys. I know the IPO was up there, but even if you look at its highs in the 2021 highs, it's still done 77% from there. I think it has further to go, particularly if you can make above here. I think it's a great stock at a great buying level. Riddell says, I'm shorting Palantir. All right. Make me stress all day. Check those. I mean, Palantir, if you shorted Palantir, you're in the money, right? Because you're about a penny in the money. I mean, you don't need what's your average on Palantir? I mean, I would have taken profits somewhere yesterday, depending on where you shorted it, right? Unless your average is so much lower. Palantir. Now, this isn't a bottoming tail, right? Because it doesn't have enough candles prior to it, but it is still kind of like a great reversal signal. You had this beautiful gap fill down here around 142. It never quite got to there. That's the level that I would have bought for a bounce, and it's bounced quite significantly since then, quite decently since then. But what's your average, Riddell? Jose says, I'm thinking to buy back Block Inc. Block Inc. XYZ, right? XYZ. At 69, what do you think? No problem, Jose. $69. So down here, beautiful. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I think it's a great level. You have this nice down sloping trend line. From there, boom, boom, boom. Opened up higher on earnings and fell below. I think this is a great level to buy, $69. That's exactly where I would buy. I would actually potentially inch into a position a little higher, around $70.76. That might be my first level to buy. And then you can add every $1.50 or whatever to this trade. You can add, or if you're talking about a day trade, rather $1.50. But if you're talking for a swing trade, the $71 or $69, both of them I think are fine levels. I'm still like on this, I would target a move up to like the mid to high 80s. Xavier says, how much higher do you think Barrick Gold what's the ticker for that? Can go up. I mean, it's just gold, right? Yeah, it is gold. But let's just chart gold anyways. All right, let's just chart gold because it's essentially the same thing, right? Its movement is decided by, predicated on the price of gold. Gold broke above this trend line, failed to confirm, fell right back down. I think this is the line the line in the sand that you need to pay attention to. What the heck is happening? All right. I don't know what's happening to my trading view. Gold. Like, I don't know why my cursor is stuck here. I gotta unlock it. How do I unlock it? There you go. Unlock. Okay, same chart. I have no idea what. Dude, the same thing is happening. Am I like having a brain meltdown? Sorry, guys. Let's go here to main. Let's go to gold. Let's go to daily, turn off VWAP, reset the chart. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. I had no idea what was going on there. But you have this down sloping trend line, and then on the other direction, you have kind of this. Now you formed a beautiful wedge, right? It's kind of trading in this thinner and thinner wedge. Yeah, Malcolm, that's for Barrick mining, though. This is just for gold, the Barrick Gold specifically. But anyways, on this gold, I mean, it could go either way. If you're asking me how much higher it could go, it's difficult for me to tell you exactly how high it can go, right? All I can tell you is that if it breaks above this downsloping trend line, it favors to move higher, at least to probably new all-time highs. But because this is at the highs of the chart, I think it actually favors a move down more than a move up. This wedge is just like a regular wedge, so you could say it's a bullish bias because it moved up before sideways consolidating like this. But if you can break down below it, I think that you could realistically see a fall at least 6% lower. Realistically see a fall at least 6% lower. Chad says, thanks for the answers, Lon. Thanks for the questions, Chad. Baidu just had earnings and has been a little volatile since. Sure. Let's go here, actually. Let me use this one because I don't know like why this trading view thing is locked. Hold on. I think I just I think this thing is messed up and I don't know how to fix it. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to figure out what I did wrong with this. It just looks weird. I don't know why it's showing that. So I'm going to use this chart. It has had earnings. Yep, it had earnings, I believe, Wednesday morning. Yeah, Wednesday morning. Fell on earnings, right? Fell about 3%. Has had a nice, decent recovery. You're going to find an intraday resistance, of course, at this gap fill. But what this tells me, particularly if we can get to this gap fill, means that it's not as bad as everyone first reacted to, right? Like people might have been freaking out because Baidu, if you take a look here, they beat their earnings barely, but they were down on their revenue, whereas the quarter prior they were up on both as a double beat. So that's what caused it to fall. But I think people are realizing that it's not as bad as they thought it was. So you could see a move. My prediction would to see a move around 7% higher, potentially slightly higher to this $95.18 level. But previously, this was one term watching for potential breakout or wedge. I still am fairly bullish on the Chinese stocks because let's compare the S&P. Take a look at the S&P going crazy at all-time highs. If we check the HSI, which is the Asian Stock Exchange, it's not even close to its all-time highs, right? It still has way, way, way further to go, right? Way, way, way further to go. So if the S&P can continue to push up, I think China it has potential to catch up. It's like, for example, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin at all-time highs here. Was at all-time highs here. Was at all-time highs here, here, even here, right? All these times that Bitcoin made all-time highs. But if you look at Ethereum at the same places, no. The Ethereum was not even close to all-time highs with the all-time marker being here. Hasn't even made it. But since it broke up from this downsloping trend line, had this beautiful inverse head and shoulders pattern, you saw a massive rally up around 74%. That's the catch-up trade. And that's the same way I potentially see the Hang Seng, right? It's still so far down from its highs, but the S&P continues to be at its highs, so it's a catch-up trade. Okay. Hassan saying, what about Lucid? Okay. Is it a good long opportunity? I've never tried their cars, but apparently their cars are pretty cool. For me, I have this nice wedge that was here, right? That we broke above off of, I believe this was news, and tried to stay above it, right? Did have a nice rally up 18%, but has fallen back down and into that wedge. From my level of support is this pivot low around 193. So I think under $2 you could be looking to buy Lucid, and I would probably add to this every 25-ish cents to just all the way to this trend line, this down sloping trend line. Okay, because we know that when things hit a down sloping trend line, they favor a bounce, right? See what other questions we got today. William says, can you look at ONDS? Absolutely, I can. Do you see any good buy points? Dude, this is full disclosure. I've never traded this before. I likely would not trade it. It's a 1 billion market cap, very, very small company. So that, what does that mean? The smaller the market cap, the more caution you should enter with. Let's see if I can find a parallel. I kind of like this though. Kind of like this parallel because he kind of came down, retraced to it, pulled back, retraced to it, pulled back. You have some price action around it, bounce off of it here, bounce out off of it here. I actually really like this. If you're asking me for a good buy point on this company, I would have to tell you down here around $2.19, but that's not what you want to hear because that's 42% lower. But this is not generally something I would like to trade. But I do love this chart though because of how much action there was off of it. Okay, hi Lon, great calls all this week. Of course, thank you, Juan. Can you explain dividend payouts? Can you use Pfizer with a $100,000 account? So, yeah, so let's say that Pfizer is $25 per share. Okay, let's say that we're just talking about Pfizer, and I'll do it here, even though this is messed up. Pfizer, let's put it text. PFE. Let's go like this. On at let's go like this. Okay. So let's say you have $100,000 of Pfizer at $25 per share, right? And you divide that by the 100,000 by 25, and that leaves you with 4,000 shares. Okay, 4,000 shares of Pfizer. And then on Pfizer, let me see. I need to find out how much their dividend, how much they're paying on their dividend. They're paying dividends per share 0.69, dividend yield 6%. So let's say they're giving 6.37, 6.4% per year. That's their payout. So then if you have, so you're expected to get, and this is without compounding, without changing anything. Let's say it stays at $25 per share and your money doesn't compound. You're expected to make off of $100,000. It should be $6,400 per year from dividends. And quarterly payments. Quarterly payments of 1,600. This is the expected return. All right. How long do you need to hold to pay out? There's a schedule. There's a set schedule. You see it says there. The dividends on May. It's once a quarter. July. January. Okay. What do I see on Snapchat? On Snapchat, yeah, it actually had a really good level for me. I think I like the level it's at right now, to be honest. It's a really good level. If it continues down lower, I would potentially be interested in purchasing Pfizer at 657. But honestly, anywhere under $7, I think, is a steal on Snapchat. Snap Inc. Okay. Andy says, how long have you been trading? How's your progress doing? I started trading originally doing like meme stocks in COVID, just like everyone else was doing, right? But over time, I've started trading more and more. I've been trading over a year. Seriously, trading over a year, way over a year, like maybe 1.5 years or so. It's hard to like, I've been learning from them, obviously Gareth and everyone, for like 2 years, but I've been like taking trades and I've been giving out trades. I started giving out trades in January, but I've been trading and learning for since pretty much January of last year. But how's my progress doing? It's going well. I mean, I'm a profitable trader. I have a high win rate, and not a lot of people can say that. And it's more about them, and our services than it is about me, right? It's so much more about it speaks to how good of teachers and how great the methodology is, that someone like me with not much prior experience can excel and learn, right? And apply these kind of concepts in real time, right? So, but you can track my performance with the live day trading room. Closed at a $10,000 winner a couple days ago, I believe on Tuesday. I had a 10K winner today. I also took a winner. I was the only one, I gotta say, the only one with the trade today so far, and I made about $1,000 on SOXS. That's my favorite thing to trade. I trade it every single day with the strategy that I have created, and I have about a 95% win rate trading that stock. Jamie says, how's Intel doing? Is it a buy now? I'm not buying it. To be honest, I would buy it here at $20.64. That's where I'm buying it. Okay. Not buying it. Andy says, I have family in Tampa and I'm planning to move out there. Can I pay you all a visit when I move out there? 100%. Absolutely. We have members come in all the time. In fact, Drew Dosick was a member who just came in and then became one of our traders, joined our team. Not saying you have to join our team, but if you ever come by, or if any of you guys are in the area, we'd be happy to see you if you wanted to stop by and chat with us. Stella says, hey, Lawton, how are you? I'm good, Stella. How are you? Why is the VXX call option 25 down while the VXX is up for the day? Thank you so much. Okay, so here's how this works, right? Here's how options work. It's a good question. Let's say you put an option, you buy an option here, and it has to, when you buy an option, there's an expiry date, right? And this is the premium, okay? Let's say you pay $1 here. God, that's so bad. You pay $1 here, right? And you need the stock price to go up here, but the stock price is currently over here, right? So this is your premium, $1. Well, as you get closer to this expiry date, right, the price of this premium, this is the thing you care about, will slowly start getting lower, right? It'll start going lower even if price stays the same. Okay? The reason why is that once you get to this state over here, if it hasn't reached this level up here, your options expire worthless. All the money you put into this is worthless. Okay? Expires worthless. So, you want to pick something that gives you time to kind of maneuver and goes in your direction. Now, if price instead starts here, goes like this, then the price of the value of your $1 will slowly go up, right? Because the likelihood of it hitting here is higher, right? So when you buy an option and you put it out and you pay a higher premium, you're basically buying yourself more time for this to play out, if that kind of makes sense. I don't know if I did a great job of explaining it, but so as we get closer to the expiry dates, the value of your option, call or put, will slowly go down unless you're close in the money. So even if you buy an option, call option on Intel right here, and you want it to go here, right? And let's say it's having a great day, and it's having a great day. It's up what, 2%, 3% for the day, but the value of the option is still going down. It's because it's getting so close to that or closer to your expiry date. And the probability, and it's like perceived probability, like it's what people are willing to pay, right? People are not as sure that your price target is going to hit, right? So the value of your premium goes down. I don't know if that makes sense, Stella, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to be holding it over here, because if it doesn't hit this level over here, it's worth 0. It doesn't matter if it was close. It's worth 0. But I hope that makes sense. Xavier said, sorry, I meant Barrick Mining. Okay. So Barrick Mining is something different. This thing is absolutely insane. Pushing up higher. Does have some more upside to go. As we see, we have double top up here around $31.25. For me, levels to short, boom, $26. There should be some resistance there, resistance here, resistance here. Okay, so if you take a look at this chart, you see these lines. This is where I think price is likely to go before seeing a pullback, right? And some of these are stronger than others. Some of these may be intraday pullbacks. Some of them may be swing trade pullbacks. But if you want, you can just pause it or take a screenshot or rewatch this later. All right. Wes says, what is the market cap you like to see in trading a company? Great question. My minimum is like $4 or $5 billion. I want to see at least $4 or $5 billion. Like Soundhound and Rigetti are two things that I do trade that are the lowest market cap. I don't particularly trade anything lower. Yeah, even GameStop is around 10 bill. Chad says, thanks, Lawton. Palladium looks like it's close to hitting support. And I'm considering entering for bounce soon. Would your opinion be similar? If so, what profit levels would you target? Cheers. Let's see. Let's see here. Well, here's what I'm worried about. We just don't want to see it go up anymore, right? I'd hold off for now. I'd hold off for now and wait to see if we make a shoulder, because if we make a shoulder, this could be making a head and shoulders pattern. For Palladium, my level for an entry would likely be somewhere around here, around the $1,022 level, or just that even number of $1,000, basically a pierce of that $1,000 number for an entry into Palladium. But just watch out and be careful, because there might be a head and shoulders forming on this. Lynn says, good morning, Lawton. Good morning, Lynn. How's it going? Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. You've helped me a lot. Thank you so much for the kind words. Can you please give an analysis of JPM and RCL? The levels and trend. Thank you so much. Absolutely. JPM. For JPM, for me, I have this pattern we all love. Potential head and shoulders pattern, right? Say this is the armpit. So this is the armpit. Let's see that measured move. Boom. JPM's trading near its highs, though. This measured move is a move down only about 6%, so not much lower. JPM also isn't the biggest mover, so I'm not expecting the most out of JPM. Let's see what I got to the over here. Do I have anything there? Potentially. What I'm really focused on is this potential head and shoulders pattern, though, on JPM. I don't really have any levels, great levels. I mean, I think it favors a downside move, but let's see the formation of this head and shoulders pattern and then reassess. As far as RCL is concerned, for me, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines have this nice kind of downsloping trend line, which would say it favors a move higher on a break. You're looking for a move around 5% higher. But Royal Caribbean is also trading at its highs. Had an astonishing run. Moved up around 118% from its Liberation Day lows, but it's knocking on this trend line. If you could see some more sideways consolidation, particularly some downsloping sideways consolidation, this is likely to favor a move higher to around the 352 level. Brewski says, good afternoon, Lawton. What's up, Brewski? Thank you for all the great education and tips, as well for amazing, hilarious, plus the picks Apex show yesterday afternoon. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hilarious plus the picks Apex show. Resistance level for Sox. Thanks. I think Sox is likely to move up to around $8. That's where I see resistance on Sox. Around $8. Renee says, hi, Lawton. What's up, Renee? Could you share your thoughts on UPS? Thanks. Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at UPS. I'm going to be live for them. I have 5 minutes left. Man, I got tons of questions left. So many questions. Okay, I got to do this a little quicker. UPS, I had this down move and this upsloping trend line. Upsloping, like kind of potentially bear flag. But it is at the lows of the charts, but my level of support is around $82. This is going to be the rapid fire round where I try and answer as many questions possible because I took too much time yapping, and I apologize. So let's see. All right. Marcus says platinum won't die. Bear flag canceled. Not necessarily. You had this nice upsloping trend line. It broke below, but is kind of retraced too. I wouldn't say it's canceled yet. You could just make it a little wider, if anything. You could almost say this is like a parallel now, right? Let's see if we got a parallel. See if we got this. Let's go like this. Kind of. A little bit. But you can definitely see a clear uptrend. I think a break of this down, the bottom of this trend line should favor a move lower. As this says, please look at link. Sure, let's take a look at Chainlink. Chainlink has pushed up really, really nicely but pulled back significantly today. I think that you had this beautiful kind of uptrend that it's slowly trying to break. If you can break this upsloping trend line, favors a move lower. I target at least 15 to 20% lower on Chainlink. This thing can move. Stella says, but my VXX option is expired December 2025. Should I have enough time? That is a decent amount of time, but I don't know what your strike price is. So you have to tell me what your strike price is, and I can maybe tell you. Mar says, hi, Lon, you're doing great. I think you're doing great. More teachable moments, please. And greetings from overseas. Thanks so much for your kind words, brother. Andy says, I want to thank you all. I've been trading for 3 years, and during that time, I was consistently losing money. But once I started following Gareth, everything finally began to make sense. Thank you so much for your kind words, Andy. And that's what I love to hear. That's what we love to hear. That's what keeps me going, to be honest. I talked a little bit. I went off on a tangent the other day talking about how, working here really means something to me because of how much help we can provide to people. So that's awesome to hear. Mara says, by the way, do you still think the inverse head and shoulders on Solana will play out? Let's check it. Yeah, it already did play out, right? Inverse head and shoulders, it already did play out. It played out over 50% of the move, right? And I always say that whenever you're measuring a head and shoulders pattern or an inverse head and shoulders pattern, even though the measured move is about, all the way there, for me, I'm looking more like for like a 50% of the way, anything above 50. So I think the inverse head and shoulders pattern already played out. 100% is already played out. All right, can you check the SQQs? Looks like it's forming a cup and handle. Bullish, check the 10-minute chart. I won't look at the SQQ and Q for that. I would just look at the QQQ and see if it looks bearish. You did break this on the 10-minute chart. You did break this beautiful upsloping trend line over here. Kind of retrace to it and continue to fall. If we see more sideways consolidation, I think it favors a move lower, at least about 0.5% lower to those lows. Chad says Lulu managed to get above 200 recently. Yep. But now it's back under. In your opinion, would you say it might be preparing for the next breakdown? Thanks, mate. Hard to say. For me, this does favor a pullback, right? You had this beautiful upsloping trend line. It's kind of traded around. If you break that and close below, I think it likely moves lower. But the thing is, these are not, oh my God, that's on the 10-minute. That's super unhelpful, that analysis I just did. I think Lulu favors a bounce, but you're expecting a pullback, right? You had Lulu push up 11%, basically straight up 11% from its lows here. So it's just preparing. It has earnings in 7 days, so I probably wouldn't touch this. I would wait for its earnings, and then I would try and play it after that. But I'm not too interested in messing with it until that. V says, hey, Lon, keep up the good work, and thanks for doing what you are doing. Thanks so much, V. I really appreciate that. Thanks for taking your time to spending your lunchtime or any part of your day with me. V says, I got it last month, so I'm down big on it. Do I let it ride? Chance it expires in the money at 2,200. I got a Netflix call option okay, Netflix. Let's take a look at Netflix. A call option, 1220. Do I let it expire? to be honest, if you get a bounce in the markets, I think it could easily get to 1200. So I do think it could go up there, but it depends when next month it expires. It did just break, this upsloping trend line. So if it closes here, I would say it favors a move down lower, at least 4.5%. But I think that, you're out Netflix around 1.6%. You're in the money literally today on this option. So another push up, and I would cut it above there. Drake says, hi, Lon, hope you're doing great. Thanks for everything. Is 50K enough for trading crypto or options? And how much increase could I expect trading with you guys, let's say, in a year? Options, it's hard. We don't have a track record per se, so it's hard for me to tell you exactly. But if you look at specifically cryptocurrency, you can say you're roughly looking for about an 80% return on your portfolio in a year, 75 to 80. If you're talking about the thing that is the most successful is the live day trading room, and 50K is more than enough for that. We're averaging about a 10 to 12% return on portfolio every single month, which is significant, right? In fact, on Tuesday, we closed out $50,000 in trades, which is about a 5% gain in portfolio in a day. I have members that told me that they're up 13 or 14% over the last 2 or 3 weeks from the live day trading room alone. Chad says, a last question. Do you think a light, it might be forming inverse head and shoulders? Seen tags, so down something. No, it doesn't, because the shoulder is bigger than the head, is lower than the head. But I like this. I like this trend line. That's where I would buy it. It does have a dividend too. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Again, my name is Lawton Ho here with Verified Investing. If you enjoyed this content, please consider liking it and giving it a subscription. Again, my name is Lawton Ho here with Verified Investing. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with me. I'll be live tomorrow, same time, same place, 12:30 to 1:15. If you have any additional questions, guys, feel free to send them to me on Twitter. My Twitter account is @LawtonInvesting. Okay? I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a good one. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hey guys, Lawton here with Verified Investing, and today I'm here to talk about Kinesis.money, our sponsor. Thank you to Kinesis for sponsoring us. So Kinesis has this awesome thing called yield, in which you can literally earn gold by just performing different activities on their website and their platform. So the first way that you can earn on Kinesis.money is through their holders yield. So basically what that is if you buy some KAG or KAU from them, which is basically equivalent to gold or silver, they're one-to-one crypto equivalent of gold and silver, you're able to collect money from them, right? A percentage of all of the fees that Kinesis takes over transactions, over buying KAU, KAG, or anything else is distributed to people that hold on to KAG and KAU. So super cool. Now, the velocity spending is also really cool. So if you spend KAU or KAG, you're actually going to get a percentage of all the fees. Again, this is of all the fees that Kinesis takes relative to how much you use Kinesis. So this is things from going to the grocery store and buying things on your Kinesis card. This are things like buying KAG, KAU, sending it to someone else. And finally, it's the same thing as trading on their platform, right? If you do any of those things, you qualify for this velocity yield. The next awesome way that you can earn with Kinesis is through the referrers yield. So if you refer any friends, family, you'll get a percentage of all of their transactions in perpetuity, which is super cool. They also have a partner for a program for partners and minters. But what I really want to focus on is this K KVT, the most exciting part of Kinesis for me. 20% of all of the shares of all the transaction fees that happen on Kinesis are going to be distributed to holders of the KVT crypto token. There's a limited amount of crypto supply, but that's a really cool way to actually own part of Kinesis. You can get in on the ground level and just hold those tokens and collect a nice return. Thank you so much to Kinesis for sponsoring this video, and go check out their website at kinesis.money.